Welcome back to Path to Mastery. We're going to go into phase 4 of learning a new build, and this is the polish. So this is a TVT, same build. I'm actually doing it on the ladder now against Chitlin Prow, this Terran here. I actually lose this match, but it shows what I've been working on. So let me kind of explain this. So step until now we've talked about working out the build just to understand what the build is out, like just what's coming when and what you do. Then the grind, actually grinding the build and getting a basic flow of the build. And then there's the memorization. And the memorization is really a part that never really ends for me. So I'm not perfectly memorized at this spot. This is I can do the build if I don't have any massive harass. I can do my build perfectly. And this is a good opener because I don't have any harass at the beginning of this replay. So I'm able to do my build very well. I don't have any kind of strange SCV or Reaper come into my base. So I can do it really well. And then also, yeah, so that's up until now we've talked about these things. Now, the polish is really deciding what you do with these first units. So you have this build that you've been working on, and now every spot of every building that you're doing, you're trying to squeeze out as much value as you can from each position, from each thing that you're doing, and you kind of, as you do the build, this polish section goes kind of crazy, and you should watch pros and do everything. But here's kind of how I'm doing it right now. So let me kind of walk you through each little step and tell you kind of what I'm thinking and the polish of this build. Now, it's not good. I lose the match. But I want to kind of talk about this polish portion. So I'm going to just play it at double speed. So first, my first supply depot always goes towards this first ramp because I want to see if there's a Reaper or some kind of a bunker rush coming down below me. I always put this out here. And then get a gas. Now, for here, for this specific map, I build the barracks kind of up here. I usually put it much closer back to my command center. But because there's only this area that the Reaper can come in, I can kind of, maybe I should have kept it back here, but usually this is part of what I'm doing. So not perfect. I'm still working on my own polish itself, but I usually like to keep the barracks back towards my mineral line so Reaper can't come in this path here and kill all my stuff. But I don't do it this time, so. But I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the units, actually. This is what I'm really wanting to showcase this. So at 18 supply here, I'm going to send an SCV. I used to send this SCV all the way to the other side. But now I'm doing that with something different, and I don't like losing all that mining time. And usually the Reaper or something on the other side of the map kills this SCV. So I just kind of lose an SCV, which I don't like. So this SCV has one job. It's to scout proxies. I send it to my third location here. And then I send it to my third location here. And then actually, it looks like I'm sending him all the way to this main base over here. But yeah, usually I think I've changed that after this build because I usually lose it, and it's just such a big waste of mining time. So I usually send it here, here, and then I send it home. Now it's something I do. So again, this replay is back from when I was still polishing my build. So you have to kind of give me a little bit of work. But I was working on this build is what I should do with my units, my actual units. And I do like what I'm kind of doing with this and where I'm rallying them. So I'll show you. So my first barracks, the Reaper always comes out to the most common Reaper jump spot. Because what this Reaper I do is it's very, very valuable to get the first scout on the other side. But I don't send the Reaper on its own because it usually will die. It's very risky to send your first Reaper out because they have one, and yeah, so I kind of see that he's not expanding. But I do leave my Reaper home. This Reaper job is to stop the other Reaper from coming in and harassing my mineral line. This is my first step. Be it right or wrong, this is what I do with my Reaper. So I'm only in Platinum level MMR right now, so I'm assuming that later on I will definitely change this. But for right now, I like to decide, no, this is what I do with my Reaper. And until this move here, leaving my Reaper home, makes me lose a game, I won't change it. Once this becomes the reason I lost, then I'll change it. Until now, this is just kind of a home defense. So I don't ever get a lot of work done with my Reaper on a TVT anyway. TVZ is a little bit different. I can usually get a couple drone kills off. So second supply depot, I should put it out a little more, but this one comes towards any kind of drop hotspot location. If there's a drop coming in here, I want to be able to see it as soon as possible to get it in. Or if there's another Reaper jump area, maybe back here, something like that, I will put this second supply depot in a vulnerable area where I feel is droppable, or there's another Reaper jump spot because I want to see it coming. Then, get my Hellions out. As soon as this is done, I built my command center on the high ground this time because my SCV scout said he wasn't doing an expansion quickly, so I put my command center on the high ground. 99% of the time I put it on the low ground, so just FYI. Now, I don't know what he's doing on the other side yet, but I'm going to send out my two Reapers my Reaper and two Hellions to see. So let's see what's going on. So this is my first scout with this set here. If he has any kind of low-hanging fruit, I can definitely kill it with that. So I'll kind of show you what I'm doing with it when I get over to the other side. But right now, here's the biggest other thing. While I'm doing that, drops, right? So the most droppable location is back here. What I usually do is I take my Marines and I rally them to the back of my mineral line here. And then I take my first two Cyclones and I'll rally them over to this mineral line here. Or keep them at my front door if he tries to come in with some other harass that he was maybe hiding over here when my Hellions and stuff run by. I have to protect both my mineral lines. So my Marines go back here. My Cyclones usually go up to the front wall now or to the second mineral line, usually somewhere in the attack path range. Because if the stuff just runs up and comes up towards my mineral line, I already have a bunch of Marines waiting up here. If he tries to come in and just hit my base down here, I already have my Cyclones down here, and I've got high ground. So I kind of use that to my advantage. So you'll see these go right out to the back of this mineral line. Now this, I'm over here scouting. I lose the Reaper. That's a bad mistake, but this is what I'm working on. And now watch this. This is why. Now I have no idea what he's doing, except that he's on one base. My information shows that something is on a tech lab over here. There's a tech lab on here, and I know that this is a tech lab myself. I clicked this, so I know it's a tech lab. So he's got tech lab, tech lab, tech lab. Let me see here. Yeah, this is tech lab, tech lab, tech lab. So if I look at my base and I know myself, I know that my build, after the factory is finished, you should be building a starport. I go a couple extra barracks because I stay on this phase of the game for a little while longer. I delay my starport until I get more Cyclones out. So the trade-off is I don't have any medevacs or anything earlier, so I can't drop as a TVT, but I do have more aggressive power because I'm spending what he is dropping into a starport and cloak. I'm dropping into more Cyclones. So I've got 3 Cyclones almost out right now. Now here is kind of my big mistake. Right at 4 minutes 30, I need to save a scan. This is a mistake that I learned very brutally, and this is one of the reasons I lose this match, is I need to save a scan. Had I had one scan, and kill this with 2 Cyclones, no problem at all. So this is kind of my my mistake here, so I lose from this. But I wanted to get to show you that the polish of a build is about, okay, I have these units, I have these little things, what value can I get out of them? Well, one of the small things I did was I know that I've died quite a bit to things dropping in my mineral lines, or drops coming in, or Cloak Banshees coming in, or things like that, because that's how I used to win against TBT with my Cloak Banshee build, which looks like he's actually doing almost the exact same build I used to do, which is pretty interesting, and it does work very effectively if you don't use your, if you don't save up a scan after 4 minutes, for about 4 minutes 30 seconds or 4:15. The rush distance on this map is so low. But one thing I did do very well is I had my units in the good spot. So I knew that he wasn't taking a second base. I knew that that I had some things over here to take a dropout or whatnot if it came in, but I just didn't have a scan. That was my biggest problem in this match. But yeah, this polish phase, I'm not going to be able to be perfect with it until I'm grandmaster, if that ever happens. So I'm just trying to give you the idea of this build. So again, these 4 steps that I've been talking about for learning a build is to just work it out, to grind it out, to memorize it, and then polish it. You have to do this for your opener, your mid game, end game, max out. So you have all of these different transitions. Right now, I'm really focused on my openers. I have 3 builds, and I'm really working on getting a clean opener, and then I just kind of macro after that, after I get my opener out. I have my build planned out until when I drop my 3rd command center on all 3 of my builds. My 16 Marine stim drop, 16 stim Marine drop, my double Cyclone drop, my TVT 6 Cyclone into Bio. And I kind of had this Cloak Banshee build. I know when to drop the 2nd CC. It's actually right after you finish this Tech Lab and this Tech Lab. You go Tech Lab, Tech Lab, and while those are building, you can't really build any units. You just have this guy cranking out Banshees one at a time. So during that building process, as soon as you get your Banshee out, drop that, and then you get a command center. You start getting Marines and Stim, and yeah, you can start macroing out. But at this point, if you look at my SCV count versus him, this is where if I had just saved, I have 29 SCVs versus his 23. But I also have 2 fully finished command centers and 3 mules down right now. So this is 4, 8, 12 more. So I'm actually, 6, I'm like 24 SCVs above him right now in mining. He has no mules, and I have 3 mining. And yeah, this is my benefit right now. If you look at resources, maybe I can try this. Resources. Income. Yeah, this is where I have my advantage. My minerals are almost double what his are, or over double what his are. And yeah, this is my advantage. But I didn't have a scan, so I couldn't stop this. If I could have stopped this, I could have just started really hammering out units here, walling it off down here, getting some turrets up in my base, and then he can't do anything with this little measly army. I'm going to have a much bigger army here very soon. Right now, I already have a bigger army, 29 supply versus 23. Except this Banshee right here is going to kill a lot of my workers, and I can't do anything about it. So that's why I lose this game. But I'm getting good value out of everything, and that's what this polish is all about. You have to do each individual section of your build until you're happy with it, or until you're like, okay, I want to start. Just having a clean opener has been very good, and if I can win off of my very first push, I win, but I'm starting to fall off. I need to get into my transition. Again, what I want to do with my transition, you do your opener and then you grind out, okay, this is what I want to do. You pause it. How much minerals do I have right now? What am I doing? What's my supply block? When do I need more? Am I more depot? Am I still making SCVs? Do I need another command center here soon? You have to decide all that. How are my upgrades? When am I going to drop my upgrades? Every piece of that transition you have. And the transition for me is until I get my 3rd base down. So the opener is until basically this spot. I have 2 bases and I have some production. And then my transition is adding on upgrades and a 3rd command center, and maybe a few more production facilities if necessary. This is going to be, I'm going to get a starport, I'm going to get an engineering bay, I'm going to get a 3rd command center, and then I'm going to go Tech Lab, Reactor, Tech Lab, and then Reactor on my starport, and then that's going to be all of my production until I get my 3rd command center starting to get SCVs on it. Then I'll drop 1 more factory, 2 more barracks, and then I'll do Tech Lab, Reactor, Tech Lab to double make tanks, to make 3 Marauders at a time and 4 Marines at a time. And then I'll be making medevacs until about 6 medevacs. And then I usually spend all my resources into getting double factory upgrades instead, because I don't need as many medevacs after 8. They just there's just too many. I don't have enough army, but I have a ton of medevacs. But yeah, that's how I do that. I haven't done I've ground out. I'm at the grind out stage of my transition, but I have not memorized it yet. I've worked it out. I've ground it out 10, 12 times. I understand what I want to do. Now it's coming down to the memorization of, okay, now what do I do? When I'm doing this attack, what am I doing? When I'm doing that attack, what am I doing? And then the polish is, okay, I have this down. I have this build down. Oh, wow, what do you know? At 110 supply, I've got quite a little army here. And plus one, and 1-1 is just finishing. Okay, at 110 supply, I'm going to send this army over to here. But until that spot, I'm going to put some Marines over here. I'm going to put some Marines over here. I'm going to put a tank there and a tank there so he can't do any damage to my base, so I can make sure I have that 110 timing push attack. At 110, I'm going to move out to his third, and I'm going to siege one tank here, and have my bio here. And then during that time, I'm going to be doing this, but I have to protect my third, so I'm going to be rallying my units over to here, or break these rocks, and then rally my units down to here. You know, it's something, it depends on what you want, but that's how you go through a build. Take it step by step, make one part good, then move on to the next part. And after I'm there, it's time to do my max out. Okay, once I max out, what do? Let's go into battle cruisers. So I'm going to have to get eventually a 4th command center, a 5th command center, you know, 5 or 3, what are they called? 3 starports, fusion core, get tech labs and everything, and start triple making battle cruisers with 2-2 while I'm harassing his third, and then get a bunch of battle cruisers out and attack in from over here while I'm sieging up over here. You know, I have no idea yet, but that's how you get through a build order. So I hope these 4 videos, this little, I don't know what you call 4, 3 is a trilogy, this little saga, I guess, this saga of videos has helped you get at least some sort of a basic understanding for learning a build. I'm probably going to do an updated version once I'm better at the game, but up until I've gotten to Diamond as Zerg, and it's the same process. I'm just not as good as Terran. I haven't played as many games. I haven't spent as much time really getting into all the details as Terran, just because I like Zerg more, and this is more of a scouting practice anyway that I'm learning Terran. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. If you think that you have a better way of doing something, or if you have any questions about what I've been saying, please leave a comment below, and I will be happy to have a chat with you about it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.